So maybe before accusing someone of being a robot, go touch some grass, or better yet, learn how to write. So, something's happening in my YouTube comments, and not just mine, countless other channels. And I think I need to say it once, just once. Repeat after me, I will say this only once. Apparently, I'm artificial intelligence now. Not as a joke, not, wow, this video was polished. No, no, no. According to some people in my comments, my scripts are written by a machine, my voice is synthetic, and my opinions are apparently being assembled somewhere on a server farm instead of coming from my own brain. And I'm going to be very honest, I'm getting very tired of reading it. It's reductive at this point. So tired that I actually started filtering certain words in my YouTube comments, because after the 50th time someone writes the exact same thing, the conversation stops being interesting and just becomes repetitive background noise. But the funny thing is, these comments don't show up on every video. They show up on videos where my opinion is going to be slightly controversial, or controversial to some people. Videos where someone disagrees with what I'm saying. Take something like the Milo Winter discussion, for example. Suddenly, the same comment appears. This was written by AI, this was written by ChatGPT, and I've even noticed the same account posting it repeatedly. To the point I've started to suspect it might actually be Milo Winter, so hi Milo. Which would be a very funny twist. But the bigger point to this, the accusation only appears when someone doesn't like the argument. Because if the argument came from a machine, you don't have to engage with it, you don't have to respond to it, you don't even have to consider whether the person making the point might actually have a reason for saying it. You can just dismiss it. Problem solved. Except one small problem with that idea. These comments are appearing on videos of mine that predate modern AI entirely. Videos that were uploaded years before this whole conversation technology existed. So apparently the robots have been writing my scripts as far back as 2016, which is impressive. I've even seen a friend of mine get the same comments on videos from 2009. 2009. Apparently the machines were busy that year. But the truth is, and it's so boring and so simple, I write my videos like I'm writing anything in my life. I write in a very specific style. And I think the problem is a lot of people genuinely don't recognize what that structure actually is. Because the way I write these videos is very simple. It's called a 5-point essay. It's one of the most basic writing structures taught in schools. You start with an introduction where you present your idea. Then you have 3 sections where you explore the idea from different angles. Evidence, context, alternative viewpoints, whatever the topic requires. And then you finish with a conclusion that tries to bring everything together. That's it. That's the mystery. Introduction, 3 points, conclusion, 5 points, a 5-point essay. It's how millions of students over decades have been taught to write. Probably centuries at this point. So when someone says, this video sounds like AI, what they're actually reacting to is the fact that the argument has structure, that thoughts are organised, that, points build from beginning to an end, which is exactly what the structure is designed to do. And honestly, if some of the essays I wrote in school, college and university were submitted today, I suspect they would probably be flagged as artificial intelligence too, which is depressing, really, considering I spent most of my life learning how to write them. I have multiple degrees. I spent years learning to build arguments, present ideas clearly, back up opinions with context instead of just shouting statements into the void. AI didn't invent that structure. AI learnt it from us. Humans have been writing this way for a very long time. But here's the funny part that always kind of got to me. When I first started YouTube, I wrote scripts the same way. And people complained. They said the videos sounded pretentious. They said the videos weren't accessible enough, so I toned it down. I started filming more casually, talking more off the cuff, letting things flow a bit more naturally, and then people complained again. Now the problem was that the videos were rambly, or that I wasn't gathering my thoughts, that the ideas weren't structured enough. So at this point, I'm not entirely sure what people actually want. If I write with structure based on years of education, apparently I'm artificial intelligence. If I talk more freely, apparently I'm rambling. You can't really win this game, can you? But what's frustrating me about the whole thing, and I think it just says a lot about the internet right now. A lot of people use the content that's just noise. Hot takes, jump cuts every 5 seconds. People shouting opinions without explaining them. Content designed to be background noise while your mother is doing your ironing for you. Brain rot content, Mr. Beast, for example. And when someone actually sits down and explains a point, gives context, builds a bloody argument, and brings it to a conclusion, suddenly people think it must be fake. I think people are too busy, too used to dealing with idiots on the internet at this point. Apparently, having a thought that lasts longer than 15 seconds is suspicious now, which is honestly kind of sad. Because YouTube used to have a lot more content like this. Videos where someone actually had a point, where someone tried to explain things instead of just telling you what to think and you believing every word. When the audience was trusted to follow an idea from beginning to end, and now people are just constantly absorbing brain rot content on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. This actual real content is becoming rarer, and that's a shame, because it's the kind of content I really enjoy watching, which is why I make the content I make. I make videos I want to watch. Now, one thing I will happily admit, yes, I edit my photos, absolutely. I clean up my skin, I remove eye bags, sometimes I hide the eczema flare-ups. That's not artificial intelligence either. That's just a quick pass-through GIMP. I don't use Photoshop. Or even just the Facetune thing on Canva. It's just tidying up a little bit. That's basic photo editing. Every thumbnail you pretty much click on YouTube has been edited in some way, even basic stuff, lighting, color correction, little retouching. That's just presentation, and having an award-winning photographer take your pictures is admittedly a bit of a bonus. But editing a thumbnail is not the same as having a machine write your thoughts. So here's the reality. I write my scripts. I write them the same way I wrote essays in school, college, and university, because the structure works for me. It allows me to present an idea, argue it, explore other possibilities, and actually land somewhere in the end. And apparently in 2026 that's controversial. So this is the only time I'll talk about it, because frankly I have better things to do with my time than argue with conspiracy theories about my own existence. If you enjoy videos where someone actually explains their thinking and builds an argument, welcome, that's what this channel is. If you'd rather watch someone shout hot takes into a void, there's plenty of that on the internet too. You can rot your brain somewhere else. But the idea that structured writing is artificial intelligence is ridiculous. AI didn't invent this way of writing, humans did. And we've been doing it for a long time. So maybe before accusing someone of being a robot, go touch grass, or better yet, learn to write. It's not that difficult.